So in our experience as a measurement company, what we find often is that the HR and talent development functions in an organization are uncomfortable in demonstrating their effectiveness and promoting what they've done for the organization. They often find themselves defending the measures that they're already providing to the business in terms of activity and cost. And so taking that next logical step to take accountability for the impact that they actually are having on the organization becomes very difficult for them. So we need to take it upon ourselves to demonstrate our successes in a way that we are comfortable with, that has some industry standards to back it up, and really relies on best practices and what other organizations are doing.
So what's an example of how we can leverage the marketing-related impact measures? I'm assuming it's sales, revenue, and customer impact. What can we use from that model within learning and development?
That's a great question. So when you think of a marketing function in an organization, they are not shy about demonstrating what impact they've had on sales. And they're not frequently challenged on what they are demonstrating as their impact on having on those direct sales. Although we know in reality that it's very difficult to draw a line of comparison between a specific advertising campaign and resulting increase in revenue and take full accountability for that. But by utilizing standards that are accepted by professionals within that function, within that industry, leaders are more than happy to take that information and consider it with the full weight of the evidence that they're providing, and not challenge them so much on prove that that's the direct impact that you have. They're not asking for a time motion study that eliminates all of the external variables that could potentially be impacting that change in performance, because they are using credible methods, even though they may be softer measures of ROI or ROMI as it's referred to in marketing.
So related to that, how do we respond to the experienced client who will say to us, how can you possibly isolate the impact of a leadership program on general business outcomes? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, so what I would typically respond to that with is, do we need to? Oftentimes we find that the speed that we need to make business decisions on does not allow us to make the investment in measurement that requires a long period to actually demonstrate the specific impact of a particular learning program. Now, there are a couple times that it would be appropriate to do that when the culture demands it and when the investment is high enough that we really need to understand what the impact of that program is going to be, isolating its effects. But in most cases, we need roughly reasonable indicators that measure from the program's inception through the delivery, and then follow up to demonstrate that the impact was actually true. And we use predictive measures along the way that are, like I said, roughly reasonable, scalable, and delivered at a time when we can make the right decisions around improving quality, making sure that we have the right audience. All of these factors that lead up to the impact that we hope to have at the end, but if we're not measuring them along the way, we won't know until it's too late. We'll look back and say, this program was not successful, and it could have been. The design was good, the delivery was good, there was a problem in supporting or reinforcing it, and we didn't have the measures along the way to ensure that we were doing that.